There's no such thing as a small disaster. So when you call 1-800 Water Damage of North Dakota, we come prepared to restore your life back to normal. From burst pipes to unexpected mold discoveries or fire damage, when things couldn't be worse, we come to you with our best. With empathy, local expertise, and a truck full of seriously powerful equipment. 1-800 Water Damage of North Dakota. Restoring what matters most. 701-670-2022.
Hello and welcome to the Valley News Now weather update, brought to you by 1-800 Water Damage of North Dakota. So today we are at the last day of the year, very last day of the year, and it is very much acting like 2025. We have a storm system that continues to sweep through. It's pretty weak, but it's been enough to again create a quick round of light snow for parts of the valley. That is going to continue to move on, and we'll be watching for another one heading into tonight and tomorrow morning for your new year. So we've got a lot to talk about. We've had a first alert weather day today for this system with that potential for it to impact our roads and cause some issues out there. So let's just take our full screen view and start off here. So this is our view in West Fargo at the Red River Valley Fairgrounds. You can see the track in the foreground there. Way in the distance, so you can make out Sanford Hospital. And we just had a little snow shower move through. Visibility was a lot lower not too long ago. It's improved, which is great to see there. Here's a look at our radar and satellite right now. You can see over the course of the last few hours, we had snow showers. Those have been dwindling quite a bit. There are still some areas getting some light snow, and so we'll zoom in a little bit more. Fargo-Moorhead has seen some of that snow dwindle, and then maybe down toward Parker's Prairie and Alexandria, north of town there, Battle Lake, along Highway 210, back over to Fergus Falls, a few flakes still going on, a little snow shower in that area. But on the whole here, we're looking at conditions that are going to be quieting down as far as snow is concerned. So great news there, but you may have a fresh coating on the ground where you are. Here's a look at our road conditions map. You can see patchy snow and ice in blue, northeastern North Dakota, parts of northern Minnesota, a lot of northern Minnesota reporting some patchy ice or snow, or even in pink, the snow-covered roads. We want green, and we have a lot of places that are not in that range. So check the road maps on the VNL weather page, or you can head to Valley News Live, the VNL weather app as well. So you can check road conditions in the tri-state area and beyond into Manitoba as well. So let's take a look at the conditions for visibility. So we do have some areas of snow and ice on the roads. We're also seeing some reduced visibility in spots. In Fergus Falls, we're down to 3 miles. We're at 2.5 in Wahpeton. Detroit Lakes remains at 1.25 miles. And visibility up by Langdon is at 2.5 miles. Harvey's at 1. Fargo's up to 5. And Grand Forks checking in at 7. So still some spotty snow showers out there. The wind is still a factor. This is going to be a factor for us through much of the day. We'll see wind speeds that are in the teens to about 20 miles per hour. Gusts that range from 20 to 30 miles per hour. And that is enough where we got that fresh snow for that to drift and blow a little bit here. And we do have a gust in Fargo at the top of the hour of 30 miles per hour. So again, a blustery morning. And notice the wind direction out of the north or northeast. So that's colder air that is rushing in. So let's take a look at our wind forecast. Again, stronger here during the morning hours, heading into the afternoon. This is for Fargo specifically. Heading into the afternoon, it starts to come down, but it's still breezy. We still have wind gusts in the 20s and still out of the north. So that's just going to continue to drive down our temperatures and prevent us from warming up today with that northerly flow. So we're currently at 7 degrees in Fargo. We've got snow being reported. We've got wind that's steady out of the north at 20, that gust again to 30. And look at our planner. Temperatures just dropping during the rest of the morning and into the afternoon. We'll get to about 1 by the time we would typically see our warmest temperature of the day. And expect to have some partly cloudy skies at that point, with the wind easing up at that point too, though we'll still have that breeze. It just won't be gusting as high. Now, let's take a look at what to expect for snowfall potential. We've got today's round. That is winding down. So now we're looking up for the next one, and this one comes overnight tonight and into your New Year's Day. And you can see areas in that darker color of blue. That's the 1 to 2 inch range or so of snow, kind of following the same trajectory that the system that moved through this morning did. We've got this northwesterly flow that's just keeping these waves moving through, that is producing the potential for snow basically on a regular basis right now. And here's a look at our temperatures. Again, Fargo's at 7, so it's a little milder, relatively speaking, to the south. But there are places that are already below 0 this morning. We're at 2 below in Langdon and Rolla at 2 below. Our warmest temperature today came after midnight, and we've been on that downward slide since. It's 2 in Grand Forks. And so, wind chills are going to be lower than that. You can see some numbers down into the 20 to 25 below range along the international border. That's a range where you're going to want to take things a little more seriously. You're going to want to make sure you're layering up, covering up here as you're stepping outside through the rest of the day today. Fargo, a wind chill of 13 below, 19 below in Grand Forks. So New Year's Eve planner, it's looking interesting heading into tonight. If you have some New Year's Eve plans for the afternoon, again, it's already going to be cold, but by midnight, you see that -10 there. We are looking at perhaps our coldest temperature of the evening happening in that midnight time frame. We're going to see our temperatures drop initially, especially once the sun sets. We'll be clearing out a little bit. That allows for temperatures to drop. The wind will die off a bit. And so that all helps to see that temperature drop. But the next wave is already going to be approaching overnight tonight. So once the clouds with that start to move in, once we start to see the warmer air start to feed into this next wave, temperatures will level off or start going up. But unfortunately, when a lot of us are celebrating, or maybe you celebrate and then you're ready to go home after that about 12:30, this is when temperatures might be coldest, or at least just now at that point starting to turn around. So something to keep in mind as you are heading out for your New Year's Eve plans. I know you want to show off the outfit, and it's annoying to have to find a place to put your coat and hat and gloves, but really important to do that when we have temperatures in this range. So keep that in mind here as we're heading into the new year, getting ready to celebrate. So let's take a look at the timeline. So I'm going to start with earlier this morning when we started the valley today. This is what our model was showing. We've got those snow showers, northern valley stretching down to Fargo, and then into northwest Minnesota. And that's basically the scenario that we saw happen here today. So the model initialized well. Now looking at 9 a.m., we're watching those snow showers move on, and moving on into the afternoon, that wind still going. This is noon now. And then moving on into the afternoon hours, we've got winds gusting out of the north into that 20 to 30 mile per hour range here. One other thing to note, we're seeing some more breaks in the clouds at that point. So maybe we'll get to see a little sun before it sets here today. And notice our temperatures too, again, dropping below 0 steadily. First in the northern valley, and then that continues in the southern valley. This is 5 p.m., heading home from work at that point. Pretty chilly. You'll want to warm up your car. And then once you're getting ready to head out for New Year's Eve dinner, this is 7 p.m. You can see that we've got areas that are below 0. The wind is still there, but it's not as strong. And then moving on into that 9:30 time frame, a lot of places dropping below 0 at that point. It's not 20 below, but it's still cold, and this isn't factoring in the wind chill. I'll show you that in just a little bit. We can see that by the time we get into midnight, when that confetti's flying and we're celebrating, there might be a few flakes flying over by places like Minot, Harvey, up toward Rolla. That's that next wave moving in. And so that's going to start the temperature turnaround into the overnight hours. But around midnight, you can see some areas that are below 0 at that point in time. And then moving on through the overnight hours, our temperatures go up. So for example, you can see in Fargo, we were down to 10 below around midnight. By 4:30, we could be up to 6 below. Rolla, below 0 basically the rest of the day today, and late tonight, back to 0 by 4:30 a.m. And seeing that wind starting to turn to a more southerly direction as this next round moves through. And you see that we've got basically northern valley kind of following the same track in northeastern North Dakota back into Lakes Country in Minnesota. And as it sweeps through, bringing another round of some light snow to the region. So starting off our 2026 in kind of the same way we're ending 2025 here for your New Year's Day. So again, snowfall potential. I think we just showed you this a moment ago, but we'll show you again in that 1 to 2 inch range. Now, let's talk about temperatures and wind chills. You can see that numbers are going to, unfortunately, I did not put pause points in here. We'll go back and I'll play it through and you'll just have to watch closely. Temperatures, wind chills are the boxes on the right. Temperatures are the numbers on the left. So you can see that we're going to see temperatures and wind chills into the 20s below, teens to 20s below overnight tonight. And it only starts to recover heading into, again, tomorrow morning. So again, it's just something to factor in as you are getting ready to get dressed and head out for your New Year's Eve celebrations. So looking ahead to the new year, here's what we can expect on New Year's Day. You know, it's not going to be colder than today, but we're not really warming up either. We're looking at a high of about 9 degrees, and there's that shot of snow. It's going to be more likely in the morning. Then as the day goes on, that chance for snow moves on as well. And fingers crossed, that'll be the last of that wave for now of daily back-to-back snow chances here. Now, let's take a look at our 11-day planner. Moving into your new year on Thursday, again, those morning snow showers. Friday morning, we could see some sub-zero temperatures to start, and then rising, but not by a lot. So Friday's going to be a little chilly too for that second day of January. And then moving into the weekend, that's when we start to notice more of a difference. We see our pattern shift a little bit, and we get some warmer air working its way into the valley. So highs in the teens to some 20s. By the way, our average high for today's date is 19 in Fargo. So we're running well below average here heading into the afternoon. But that's also kind of where we're going to be next week. So we're getting closer to average or even above average moving into that first full week of January. You can see several days where we reach the low 20s with some light low-end snow chances. We could see a couple with our northwesterly flow, a couple more shots of a quick round of light snow, but overall fairly quiet. That is until the 9th. I'm watching the 9th right now and into the 10th. It's pretty far out to the 10th and the 11th day in our 11-day planner, where we're seeing some long-range models indicating a system that could bring some more substantial snow. So something to watch that can and probably will change a bit as it gets closer, but something to keep your eyes on as we are getting closer and working our way through the first days of 2026. Hard to believe we're talking about that still. It's here, ready or not, for us. So again, on this New Year's Eve, we are talking about snow chances this morning that are tapering off. We're dealing with the potential for some blowing snow still ongoing across some of our roadways. So if you're driving to your New Year's Eve destinations today, keep that in mind. Roads are not perfect. There's lots of road reports coming in where there's some snow or some ice on the road. So check the road conditions on the Valley News Live website. You can also dial 511 if you're on the road. And in addition to that, look out for cold temperatures for tonight. It's going to be quite frigid compared to the warmth that we had yesterday. We're looking at, again, wind chills that are going to be in the teens to 20s below by midnight. So dress accordingly. And I hope you have a great new year. I hope your celebrations are fun but safe tonight. Hopefully you have a plan to make it home safely. And I just hope you have a great year ahead. And these last few hours of 2025 also treat you well. And we'll be here for you throughout 2026, keeping you up to date on the weather. The Valley News Live First Alert Storm team always keeping an eye on things. And in fact, we'll have another update coming up for this afternoon for tonight's forecast and beyond in a little bit. And then you can, of course, always access the VNL weather app and the valleynewslive.com page for the latest conditions as we are heading into, again, tonight, our New Year's Eve plans, and into the new year to come coming up here. So again, Happy New Year. And of course, it's the cliche, but we love to say it. We'll see you again next year. This has been your weather update brought to you by 1-800 Damage of North Dakota.
There's no such thing as a small disaster. So when you call 1-800-WATER-DAMAGE of North Dakota, we come prepared to restore your life back to normal. From burst pipes to unexpected mold discoveries or fire damage, when things couldn't be worse, we come to you with our best. With empathy, local expertise, and a truck full of seriously powerful equipment. 1-800-WATER-DAMAGE of North Dakota. Restoring what matters most. 701-670-2022.